Hello and welcome to IR Photo Tours, and today we have some really exciting news about Canon gear and the announcement that's going to be happening tomorrow on the 9th of July. So good day everyone and welcome to my channel. I would just like to ask if you could just subscribe to my channel. I've noticed there was a big bump overnight, in fact, from last night from 801 subscribers and now we're looking at 894, 95 and it's just going up. Oh, I am so pleased that the subscribers are going up. I'm really appreciative. I really thank you all very much. It means so much to me to get to that 1,000 subscribers and hit that magical target right now. For me, 1,000 subscribers is that magical target. So I really appreciate it if you like my channel to just subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get all the latest updates, reviews and everything else photography wise and even drone wise. We're going to be talking a little bit about that as well later on, not particularly today. Today is more about really exciting news. It's Canon's announcement tomorrow, and for the UK guys, everyone in the UK, we are looking at 1 PM UK time and I believe it's 8 AM American time. So keep an eye out for that announcement. It's going to be an amazing announcement and there is a lot of gear to cover. So we're going to cover the specs and the gear for each spec that's coming out tomorrow and being advertised by Canon. So let's start with the first one, the Canon EOS R5. That's coming out and that's being shipped on the 30th of July according to sources. So good news for all you EOS R5 lovers, including myself. I'm looking forward to seeing that. There are new lenses coming out being announced. There are new cameras, there are new extenders. As I covered on the last video, the extenders are 1.4 and a 2 times extender. They look to be quite small. We'll cover that in a minute. So getting back, the Canon EOS R5. Okay, so the Canon EOS R5 8K recording options for the Canon EOS R5 leak. Okay, so we've got a leak. We better plug it up, hey. So what we got? We got this behind me. So there's your 8K video options. So you've got 8KD, you've got 8KU, you've got 4KD, you've got 4KU and FHD, which is obviously HD, isn't it? Full HD. So in your 8K you have got 25 frames a second. You might have, figure you have 50 frames a second also. In the 4K you got 24 frames a second and there's RAW mode, ALI and IPB mode. So that is your basic options there. So it looks to me like the 8K footage is 8,192 by 4,320, sorry. So now I'll say that again, that's 8,192 by 4,320 and that's at 24 frames a second. It looks to me like, you can see here, it looks to me like the record time is 21 minutes and 31 seconds per session of video recording time. That means it will turn off or it will cut out, it will stop recording at that time. Like I said before and many times previous, you are going to need a big computer to cover that. That is going to be a massive file. It's got codec for 8K recording, appear to be AL-I and IPB, and obviously RAW. 8K 30p and 4K 120p will not have a crop. So they're not going to have a crop. So you've got 120 in 4K, which just will not have a crop. That is fantastic news. It seems to me like Canon are really listening to their consumers about what they want in a camera, and they are delivering. So well done, Canon. Thank you very much. There will be no recording 8K video to both cards simultaneously. Outside of the environment factors, there will be no overheating issues. Well, that's what it's stating here. There will be no overheating issues when recording 8K for more than 15 minutes. So what happens after that 15 minutes? So moving on to the Canon EOS R6, that there are the specs here for that, and they're pretty decent for a camera. Okay, 20 megapixel full frame CMOS sensor. I wish it was a little bit more. I wish it was like the EOS R, really, around about the 30 megapixels. Even what I'm recording on right now has 32 megapixels, and that's the Canon EOS M6 Mark II. 32 megapixels of gloriousness. Hence why you can get these shots of the moon at f11 ISO 100. It will have Digic X. That's the most updated Digic processor that Canon have. So I imagine that to be extremely good. It's in the Canon 1DX Mark III, and I have had a play with that, and I know what that feels like, and that is incredibly good. Okay, so moving on, it has 12 frames per second mechanical and 20 frames a second electronic, and that is the Canon EOS R6. This R6 is starting to sound quite a nice camera. I think it's going to be a really good camera for sport photography, for fast action, wildlife, that kind of thing. It has 4K at 60 frames a second. It has full HD at 120 frames a second, and it also has Canon log, so it's a 10-bit Canon log. Awesome. So that's following the Canon EOS R I have here, and that is a lovely camera, I must say. I really enjoyed this camera. But there you go. I mean, there's a lot of this camera in these cameras that are coming out. Okay, so it's got autofocus identical to the EOS R5. The autofocus is animal detect. It has animal detection on the autofocus, and also head detection. Okay, so nothing dissimilar to what I've got here, and that is with the I think the animal detection, it goes to the eye, similar to an eye detect. I think they're renaming this, you know. I can't get the impression there's a renaming. We're calling it animal detect. But anyway, not dissimilar to eye detect, really, when you're videoing. So it's pretty cool. But it's in photo mode, so not in video mode. So there you go. So it also has identical 5 million EVF as the EOS R5. So this camera is looking absolutely amazing, actually. It's incredible. So no top-down screen. Okay, no top-down screen. Build quality not as good as the EOS R5. Well, we kind of expected that. Bluetooth 4.2, whereas the Canon EOS R5 has a Bluetooth 5.0. The LP E6NH battery does have, I know now, I spoke about this last time on my last video. I'll put the link there, and I was speaking about the H on the end of the battery, on the end of the battery name, and wondering what that was, because it's normally the LP E6N batteries, and they put a H on the end, which I presumed would mean that would be more capacity. And actually, it turns out it is more capacity, so not bad. Not bad for a guess. So therefore 15% more battery power. Not significant, not a game changer, but yeah, 15% more. It's more, okay? Let's put it like that, it's more. Now this is speculation, it's going to cost under $2,500, but I think, personally speaking, I reckon we'll be looking at around about £2,000 roughly. I did say £1,800, but I think I'm going to say around about £2,000. Could be 2,100. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the Canon EOS R5 figure of around about 3,500. Anyway, we're going to find out tomorrow, aren't we? 1 p.m. UK time. It's all going to be announced live, and we're going to all find out. So moving on from the Canon EOS R6, we have two new extenders. Now that's quite significant. So the extenders, let's start off with the RF 1.4 converter. It has 7 elements in 4 groups. The size is pretty amazing, really. It's 71.2 millimeters. I presume that's that way, and 20.3 millimeters mounted. So that is the thickness of it. So that's what's protruding out of your camera. 40.7 millimeters total. Weight 225 grams. That's nothing really, is it? That is quite an achievement in itself to have the weight that considerably low. Okay, so that's that one. That's the Canon RF 1.4 teleconverter. Now the Canon RF 2 times teleconverter, it has 9 elements. 9 elements in 5 groups. So that's quite a lot of glass in there already. The size is 71.2 millimeters. Again, that's the circumference. That's how round it is, and it's 39.3 millimeters in length. Mounted, they say it's 60.6 millimeters total length. The weight of that is 340 grams, and each of these teleconverters will be compatible with the RF 100 500 millimeters, f4 to 7.1 LIS USM, and the RF 600mm f11 IS STM, and the RF 800mm f11 IS STM as well. So this is mind-boggling to me as a photographer that we're going to move on to the f11 cameras right now, and I'm going to tell you why I'm sort of blown away with this, because they're stating that you can put these teleconverters onto the 600mm f11 and the 800mm f11 and the 500mm f4 to 7.1 and 100 to 500mm, sorry. And I'm kind of thinking that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Because you're starting with the 600mm, you're starting at f11. You put a teleconverter on f1.4. What's that doing? That's going to give you the reach, and then it's going to push your aperture right up. The aperture for that, I have no idea. I have no idea. It's going into the realms of unknown to me. This is amazing. So f11 with a converter, a 1.4 converter on it. That's going to be what, f11, about f13, f14. Are these cameras going to have some sort of situation where you still retain autofocus? I presume that's going to be the case. Autofocus at f13, 14. I can't see that I could use it, to be fair, but it has got in-body stabilization, so it's got IBIS. So wow, these are all totally new realms of numbers to me, and I really can't see how it's going to work. I'm used to fast. I'm used to fast lenses, fast cameras, fast apertures, fast shutter speeds, low ISOs. That's what I love and that's what I want in photography. But we're going to find out tomorrow, aren't we? We're going to find out what Canon are up to, because that to me is amazing. If that works. We'll start the RF 600mm, we'll go through the specs of that. So it's f11 IS STM specifications. It's got a retractable design. This is the camera, this is the lens here. It's got 10 elements in 7 groups. It's a DO element, so DO element. Minimum focusing distance is 4.5 meters. Well, that's not groundbreaking, is it really? You know, at the end of the day, if you compare that to this one here, which is my Canon 100 to 400mm f4 to 5.6 lens Mark II, now that really is a stonking lens. That is an amazing lens. So that lens there will focus, minimum focus on that is 30 inches at 100mm. If you go out to extend out to 400mm, you're looking at 36 inches, 38 inches minimum focusing distance. So that in reality is 3 feet. 3 feet, and then you go up to 600mm from a 400mm lens and you're shooting up to 4.5 meters minimum focusing distance. The maximum magnification is at 0.14 times. It has 5 stops of IS. 5 stops, not bad, not bad. 82, that is incredible actually. 82mm filter size, so it's not dissimilar to the 24 to 70mm EF 2.8 to 2.8 lens. So it's not dissimilar to that size. That's an 82mm filter size. The sizes of this lens is 93mm by, no, I'm saying 93mm will be the circumference. It's 199.5mm in length when retracted, 269.5mm lens, and the weight is 930 grams. Now that is astounding. The weight is 930 grams. That is really, really, really light. Now the Canon 100 to 400mm f4 to 5.6 Mark II, now that is 1400 and something grams. So 930 grams for a 600mm lens, not bad at all. Okay, so moving on to the Canon RF 800mm lens, f11 IS STM. That has a retractable design similar to the 600, and has 11 elements in 8 groups compared to 10 elements in 7 groups of the 600mm. And it's a DO element again. Minimum focusing distance is 6 meters, so it's getting even bigger now. So 6 meters, that's a fair old way out. So yeah, maximum magnification is 0.14 times, so it's the same as the 600mm. It has 4 stops of IS in the 800mm, as opposed to the 5 stops in the 600mm. It has a 95mm filter size, so the filter size has gone up, so I'm presuming glass will be bigger, which it is. The size is circumference, here we go, 101.6mm, so it's 101.6mm, and length 281mm when retracted, and 351.8mm when shooting. Weight for that one is 1,260 grams, so that is still under the weight of the Mark II 100 to 400mm, that one. That is still under that weight. That is incredible. I can't get it in focus, there you go. So that is incredible. So that there is your 100-400, and that weighs 1,400 grams just over. And to me, that's not bad. I mean, I don't feel like that's too much of a heavy chunk. Things have got so much lighter. Canon has really shaved off the lens sizes and weights. It's incredible. Okay, so here we go with the 100-500mm lens. So the 100-500mm lens is a f4 7.1 IS-USM. It has 20 elements in 14 groups, 1 super UD element, 6 UD elements. Minimum focusing distance is 0.9 meters wide end and a maximum magnification of 0.33 telephoto. It has 5 stops of IS. It's a 77mm filter diameter. The size is 93.8 millimeters and by 207.6 millimeters, and the weight is 1,370 grams. Now that is still under the weight of the lovely, what I love, the Canon 100-400mm Mark II that I have there. It's still under that weight, just. But so I would say that's a similar weight to the 100-400mm, except you've got 100-500mm in this particular lens. And the 20 elements in 14 groups, I mean, my God, I mean, that to me, that looks like a stonking lens. That really does. That looks amazing. The next one, which I didn't know about, which was the Canon RF 85mm f2 lens, and that one is 12 elements in 11 groups, 1 UD element, minimum focusing distance of 0.35 meters. So that's like 0.35, what, 300mm? Even less than that. That's amazing. So focusing distance is incredible on that lens. So yeah, incredible. Maximum magnification is at 0.5 times. 5 stops of IS. That's that 5 stops of IS. That's incredible. 67mm filter thread. So they all got different filter threads here. So you've got to be aware when if you're using filters, then obviously you're going to need all these connections. A size 78mm by 90.5 millimeters, 90, so that's about 100mm, so that's about that, nearly 100mm, 90.5 millimeters, nearly 4 inches. The weight is 500 grams, so that's quite a chunk of a weight compared to a massive 100-500mm lens, but or the 600mm or even the 800mm. That is half the weight actually of the 600mm f11 lens, which is quite incredible. So the prices for the Canon 100-500mm f4 to 7.1 is £2,899 in UK. The RF f2 macro IS STM is a mere £649. That's a bargain. That's a bargain for an f2 85mm lens. The RF 85mm, I mean, that is amazing. So good price, good price. Well done, Canon. I actually thought, you know, sometimes you just look at Canon and you think, wow, that is horrendously expensive. But actually their pricing's starting to get a little bit better with all this new technology. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. The RF 600mm f11, wait for it, how much do you think? It's £649. It's the same as the 85mm. That is bonkers, absolutely bonkers. £649 for an f11, 600mm f11 lens. The only problem is, in my head, and I can't get it out of there, is that f11. To start at f11 and then put a 1.4 converter on it, wow. So moving on to the RF 800mm f11 lens, 800 millimeters, and that is coming in at £929 for an f11 800mm lens. Wow, 800 millimeters. I just can't get my head around the f11. I really can't. That's, oh, really? f11? Wow, wow. So next on the list of brand new things from Canon are the battery grips. And they've got two battery grips coming out. A Canon BG-R10 battery grip coming out and being announced. We also have the Canon WFT-R10 Wi-Fi grip being announced. Now, I'm not sure what the Wi-Fi grip is. I presume that's part, you know, you've got batteries in it and there's extra Wi-Fi in it or something. I'm not sure about that. I have to say, I've not really heard much about that one. But again, like I say, Canon will come out with everything tomorrow at 1 PM. I'm really looking forward to watching that, actually. And then again, they do have the new Canon LP-E6NH battery, which, like I said, has 15% more capacity above the original batteries. And I think that covers quite a lot of equipment from Canon. They are coming out with new hoods, so the new hoods will be announced as well. And there is one more thing that I know that they're announcing, and that will be anyone enjoys their photography should really enjoy their printing as well. And if they enjoy their printing, then they are coming out with the new Canon Image Prograph Pro 300 printer, and that is coming out. Will be announced as well. That looks to be quite a nice printer. It's an A3 Plus printer. Can't wait for all this. This is going to be fantastic tomorrow. The announcement for all this gear. The prices are really quite good, actually. The Canon RF 100 500mm f4 to 7.1 IS is. I wish that was a little bit cheaper. That's getting on for a £3 lens, isn't it? Really. The R6 Canon body is going to be around about £1,800 to £2,100, I believe. It has some seriously good specs there. That really does. So we're looking forward to that as well. So exciting month this month. Really exciting month. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I really am. I'll be working in the morning, and I will be in front of my iMac at 1 PM, and I'll be watching the live feed and getting all the information. And if you can't get the live feed yourself, I'm sure you can, but if you can't, then I will give you a relay anyway of what's going on and what's been announced. And yeah, until then, thank you very much for watching. It's been a real pleasure. It's been fantastic. The subscribers, like I say, have been shooting up overnight. I am absolutely thrilled to bits with that. Thank you everyone very much for subscribing to my channel. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. It's literally all about photography. I like to get all the information out there to you guys as well. I think it's really important that people do that. And it's a great community, it's YouTube. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Until next time, it's been a lovely old job.